it's Shawnee. Welcome back. Guess what time it is? It is time for our weekly roundup where I go over all of the eyeshadow palettes I used over the past week and I rank them from least liked to most liked. Now, I think this video is coming a little later as an upload because I pushed it back a little bit to do my collab with Jan Van and Erica Conger. So hopefully you have checked that out. If not, go check it out. Check out all of our collabs. We did like this color tag that was really fun. But better late than never, and we're gonna jump in. Now, I just finished working out and I have, let's see, about 30 minutes before Rose demands that I feed her, so I figured I would just get this in, especially since I'm also procrastinating on doing the laundry. So I was like, it's time for a video. Now today we have 10 slots and we have a lot of palettes. I did a lot of combinations this week. I was just pulling from everywhere. So I think next week I'm gonna try to just do looks with one palette each day. And I think I did multiple looks a day this week. There was a lot going on. Okay, so let's go ahead. Oh, one more thing. I realized I used a lot of Blend Bunny and a lot of Pat McGrath this week. I wanted to give Pat McGrath like some love because I don't know what's going on with her brand. So I wanted to use some of the older palettes, like 1 through 8 or 9, I would say. Those are the ones that are like, oh geez, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. In number 10, we have a Mothership palette. It is Mothership 2 Sublime, of course, from Volume Pat McGrath. So this palette has this really special green shade in it, but I actually didn't use it. I did a fairly neutral look with this palette. It was just, I was going to spend time with Boo. Oftentimes I don't wear makeup around him. Like, he's seen me all made up, but I'm like, dude, this is my face. Love it or leave it. And so I wanted to look nice and cute on that day. And I did something just really neutral and simple. I didn't want to be too out there. Just something just pretty and soft. And I was actually really surprised that I could get that from this palette, even though there are lots of neutral colors in here. But I think I always tend to look at like that special shade over there that's always in her palettes. But I did something just really cute and soft and neutral, and I liked it. And I looked super cute, y'all. He appreciated it. Now, at number 9, we have the OKAVANGO Safari palette from NOMAD Cosmetics. And this was the look I did for work on Friday, I believe. I, again, just wanted something really simple and easy. I didn't want to do too much because I wasn't feeling that great. So I wanted to be sure to use a palette that I knew I could get a nice, simple, work-friendly look without having to do too much. The only thing with this palette is that some of the shimmers do get hard pan, so you will have to like scrape it off a little bit, either with like a, what are these called? A spatula. A spatula. You can use a spoolie. You can use your finger, just whatever you want to. I really do like the palette, but just something to know in case that bothers you a little bit. But I used, I think this shade here, it's a shimmer that I really enjoy, and then a couple of the darker browns. So this, again, was a super simple look that I enjoyed, and it's one of the palettes I can really rely on for some neutrals. Now, the next palette is from Blend Bunny, and it is the All Done Up palette. I don't think I told you all that I got this. I think I did tell you all that I got this palette. So this was another super simple neutral look. I feel like I went from either neutral or bold this week, like nothing in between. This was something that I wore for brunch on the weekend. I think I was going to brunch with someone from LA who came to the DC area, who I've known forever, like my entire life, and they wanted me to keep an eye on their son who is just starting out at Howard University. So I was like, I got my eyes on you, sir. I know a lot of people there, so if you do something crazy, I'm gonna find out about it. but actually just wanting to be some support. Like, I'll check in on him occasionally, make sure everything's going okay, because it's his first time on his own, right? And that can be really hard. Anyway, it was so hot, okay? I didn't want to wear anything too much, so I just wanted something super simple, cute. I think I used 2 shades from this palette. I used like these 2 shades, and this is another really nice neutral palette that I do want to get more use out of. And the more like simple neutral palettes I get, the more I realize I'm gonna have to declutter my Nobla side by side. Like, it's time for it to go, but for some reason I'm like really attached to it, and I've made 3 pans in here, but I don't know, but I'm starting to just have the same color story over and over and over again. I just had to stick that Nobla in there just for like nostalgic purposes. At number 7, we have another Blend Bunny palette, and that is the Sugar and Grunge palette. So I didn't get this when it initially released, but I got it soon after, right? So I liked this look. It was very bright, and it almost feels like very springy. I really enjoy the names on this palette. Like, one of them is Payphone. Do y'all remember using payphones? Sometimes I still see them, like, I don't know, like out in the wild, I guess. And I'm like, wow, the good old days, y'all. So this was a really cute look. I didn't mind that some people complain that the shimmers do not like align with the mattes that they are underneath, but I don't mind that because I like mixing and matching things anyway. And I think you can still get some monochromatic looks. You just have to like pay attention to the shimmer that you're pairing with the mattes. So this has the classic Blend Bunny formula. I enjoyed it. I like the color story. Definitely will be using that more. There's another Blend Bunny. Wow. Number 6 is the Blend Bunny Blends palette. So this is one palette that I often go to if I want like a variety of colors, or if I want a matte and I'm like, it's a bold color or something, I know that I can always go to this Blend Bunny Blends. It's a completely matte palette, and it's just really great as a rainbow palette, just having most colors in there and just different shades of the colors, right? So I really like that, and this was, I believe, the look that I did for like last week's or the previous week's Copy Kitty look that I do in collab with Jan. I liked the look, but I did judge myself pretty harshly and feel like I can do like an even better job. So I might come back around to that look and do like that butterfly again. But I really liked that I challenged myself and like pole vaulted out of my comfort zone. And I enjoyed the look. I just feel like I can do a bit better. So I'm gonna practice. All right, and now we are back to Pat McGrath. So number 5 is actually Mothership 1. So this is the OG Mothership. Here it is. And I don't want to tip too far because I feel like one of these shades like usually pops out. But I used this like special blue shade as just a little bit of eyeliner, and then I used some of the more neutral shades as shades for my lids. This was another work look. Yeah, I just really, like I've talked about before, I tend to save the Mothership for special occasions, and I'm like, every day I wake up is a special occasion. Like, not feeling like full of myself, but like it's a blessing to wake up, right? So I used this. I enjoyed it. This is probably, is this the one? I was going to say this is the Mothership that maybe I use the least, but actually I have to check my Excel sheet and see if that's true. Yes, I do have an Excel sheet, and I don't appreciate your judgment about it. Whew. Number 4, guess what brand? This is, I think, the last Mothership I used this week. This is Mothership 5, and I actually used it in combination with another palette, so I'll tell you that. So this is Mothership 5. This is the one that has that beautiful red shade, and I used it in the video or the look I did that was all red. So I used a, what is it called? a random color generator to pick a color I could focus on, and it chose red. So I wanted to do a red look, and I remembered that I have that lovely shade, and I paired it with the Melt Cosmetics Muerte palette and Muerte palette. I said it real American. And I used these reds here. I think I pretty much used all the red mattes, but primarily stuck with these two. And I really, really liked that look. And I paired it with like a red lip. And I just was super sassy, okay? Like the color red I've mentioned in that collab with Erica and Jan. It just makes me feel like super badassy. And I really, really enjoyed that look. I don't even think I went anywhere that day, but I was just giving myself everything I could give in the house by myself. Okay, that was number 4, right? Number 3 is the Cartagena Magica palette from NOMAD Cosmetics. Now, this is one of the palettes that they are retiring, and it's on sale for like $19. So if you want to grab it, you really should. Now, I used, what did I use, y'all? I think I stayed over here, and I added some pink. Now, one thing with this, no, why am I talking about I stayed over here? I stayed down here. This was an all shimmer look, I think, that I did, or mainly shimmer. The one thing is that I don't think I used the correct primer. Like, sometimes with shimmers, I like to use a sticky primer so that they have something to adhere to. And I didn't. I used, like, this matte primer, and I felt like that didn't allow the shades to perform as well as I would like. So I love the look, but I want to go back in and use this palette to make sure it's still performing okay, because I believe it has a 12-month like lifespan, and I believe I'm coming to that number, to the 12 months of actively using it. So it might be like not doing as great as before, but I really do like the colors in this palette. This was the first, I believe, NOMAD palette that I ever got, and it was a gift from Dion Loves Makeup, and it kind of started my journey with NOMAD, and I really like their palettes. I think they're doing even better with their color stories because the shades are like, the shades can be used by darker skin tones, and I don't know that that was always true. Ooh, something's falling. I don't know that that was always true for all of their palettes. And this year, I do have a discount code with NOMAD. It's just a discount code, right? It's not an affiliate code. Yeah, I don't get anything from them. So if you want to save 10%, just use the code Shani10, SHANI10, and you should be able to get a little, like a couple dollars off. Why not? Save some pennies, y'all. I really should stop putting these behind my back because they're gonna fall. Okay, the next palette, number 2, is the Surge palette from Blend Bunny Cosmetics. Who else? I think I used every palette I have. No, I didn't. There's more. So this palette, this is the first palette I got from Blend Bunny, and I really like it. And then I went on to get their other palettes. Oh shoot, do I have all of them now? Let's not talk about it. But I used this. I used the greens and the purples to pair with... Yo, what did I pair it with? Where'd it go? Well, I paired it with a Davina shade. And I don't know. Here it is. I paired it with this Davina shade here, Exosphere, and this was the look that I did with the collab, with Jan and Erica. My colors that I had to use were purple and green, and generally those are 2 colors I would not think to put together, but those were the colors chosen for me by Erica, and I'm really glad that she did, because I did enjoy the look. Again, push me out of my pink mauve color preferences and color box, and I knew that I would find some stunning shades in here to pair with the Divina Multi-Chrome, and I really, really liked the look, and I really wanted to get more use out of my Divina shades. Like, I feel like these are similar to my Pat McGrath, like, thought process of where I'm like, I'm just gonna use it on special occasions. So I definitely want to use more of my Divina shades because so far I really like the company and I really like their products. Whoo, child. Okay, the number one spot. This was like my favorite look of the week, I think. Like, there were most of the looks I did, I think I kind of liked every look, honestly. You know, sometimes I have weeks where I'm like, I hate everything. Sometimes I'm like, oh, you know, half good, half bad. And I think this is one of those weeks where I was like, I like everything. The only one I'm probably more iffy about is the one with the butterfly wings. Like, everything else I'm like, that was cute. But anyway, number one was a combination, probably the biggest combination I did. And it was the yellow look, like the all yellow look. I had really wanted to do a yellow look. I just struggled to find yellows that show up well on my skin. But I did use a yellow base. It was one of those mixing pigments from LA Girl, and someone also suggested in the comments that I could use like a white base, I think from NYX, or concealer, so I really appreciate those tips, and I will definitely try those. But here is the Natasha Denona Sunset palette. I used primarily the yellow here, the yellow matte, and was able to build it up a lot. I feel like there was something else. I think I used the little Viseart Petites editorial mattes, but I can't remember. And I also paired it with this Hummingbird palette from Copacetic Cosmetics. I used this really pretty yellow shimmer here. You see that? There we go. And then I also used a single from Sydney Grace, and it is their single Lemonade, which is just this really bright, punchy yellow. And I loved the look. Like, I was feeling myself. That look was so gorgeous, if I can say so myself. And I think that was a look I wore for work. And I honestly, every client I had stopped at the beginning and was like, I love your eyeshadow. Like, it was a hit, okay? And you know what? I think I also used like an orangey shade. That may have been this one here. So I did pair the yellow with a little bit of orange, and it was just really nice. And that look has inspired me to do more of those things where I choose a color and I do a look. So that's how we did the red look from whatever number it was. Getting some shimmer on the spillage. I think that is it for all of the palettes. Like, yeah, I liked them all. Now, typically I do like to include some sort of other like non-eyeshadow thing that I have been using recently. I'm starting to like run out of stuff, but I'm still trying to come up with things. There might be a time where I'm like, I don't have anything, y'all. You've seen it all. But this week I do want to highlight this brush from Danessa Myricks, and it is nice. Now, I was going to purchase Satin Girl, and then I saw that she had this brush. I think I was getting some backup of the blurring Balm powder foundation-y thing, and I was like, oh, this brush is different. I haven't seen this before. It has like this slanted shape, and it's like, I feel like I've talked about this before, so if I did, forgive me. And like, you can press things in or you can swipe, and I really like it. I've been enjoying it. I have been using it for all of my blurring Balm products. So everything from the Balm powder to the blushes or whatever. I'm acting like there's a whole bunch of stuff. I've been using it mainly for those, and I love that they like seamlessly blend with this brush. And honestly, you don't need this brush. You can use any of your brushes or a sponge or anything like that. But if you're looking at it and considering it and you want to throw something else in your cart, I really like this brush. This is the first like tool that I've gotten from Danessa Myricks, and I'm wondering if she'll come out with more brushes. And I just feel like her this brush just pairs so well with the product. Like, it's definitely, I love the way she kind of like thinks about things and how everything kind of goes together. It's like artistry, okay? So just highlighting this brush, it's one that I enjoy, and of course you can use it for other products. Like, it's not just for the blurring balm, but I really like it. It's soft, but not too soft. There's some density to it, so try it out. Let me know what you think. Girl, whew, I think that's it. Now I have to put all of these back, actually. Do I have any time? I gotta feed Rose soon. She gonna come in here and yell at me. So yeah, that is it. I would like to know what you used this week. Any tips and tricks you have for me that you want to share. I would really appreciate those too. I hope that you found something helpful in this video, and I also hope that you are continuing to take care of yourself. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment, and also, as a reminder, go over to Jan and Erica's channel to see the videos they did for our collab. Whoo, child, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.